Johnny Cage, one of the most recognizable names in Mortal Kombat. He's been around since the very first game, and he manages to make a rather plain look very recognizable simply by the virtue of the name. But what's in his name? Who is the man behind the legend? We'll explain that to you with the full story of Johnny Cage. Before continuing, it is worth noting that there are two continuities in the Mortal Kombat games. The Midway Games continuity comprised of games developed by Midway Games, and the NetherRealm continuity comprised of games developed by NetherRealm Studios. The Midway continuity closed with Mortal Kombat Armageddon and Midway Games' closure, but the NetherRealm continuity continues to this day, and with the upcoming Mortal Kombat 11. To start, the Midway continuity. Johnny Cage is one of 7 playable characters in the first Mortal Kombat game. He's a famous actor by then, but his career and his name is struggling. It's believed by others that his reputation and skills as a fighter as they are displayed in movies is unearned, and combating this image motivates his decision to participate in the first Mortal Kombat tournament. As he makes his way to the island on which the tournament would take place, he is assaulted by Kano and his Black Dragon mercenaries. However, he is saved and assisted by Liu Kang. The two repel the attack from Kano and Black Dragon and become friends because of this encounter. The two also later meet up with Sonya Blade of the Special Forces, who is seeking to apprehend Kano, and they become friends and allies as well. This newly formed band of heroes, excluding Kano, with Raiden as the lead, are the earliest organized group of defenders of Earthrealm. While Liu Kang fights Shang Tsung and eventually wins, Johnny Cage teams up with Sonya and Kano to fight Goro. Sonya and Kano are eventually captured, but Cage is rescued by Raiden. He was later interrogated by Jax Briggs, a Special Forces operative who is Sonya's superior, but Jax initially didn't believe what Cage recounted to him until he received a video transmission from Sonya herself. As a gesture of apology and goodwill, Jax visited Johnny Cage during one of his commercial shoots, but this scene was attacked shortly afterwards. Johnny Cage and Jax, later joined by other hero allies, repelled the assault from Outworld. This all precedes the events of the second Mortal Kombat game and spans his involvement in the game as well. In the third game, Cage is killed by Motaro after Shao Kahn, the main villain of the series, invades Earthrealm. However, Cage's soul returned to its host body, allowing Cage to fight once more, if only until Shao Kahn was defeated. When Shao Kahn lost to Liu Kang here, Johnny Cage's soul was witness to the rise of Shinnok, the main villain of the fourth game. His soul sought the assistance of Raiden in returning back to its body, so as to help his friends. Johnny Cage's plan succeeded, and after Shinnok's defeat, he was able to stay on Earth without being recalled to the afterlife. During this time back on Earth, Cage began filming another movie, but he was later interrupted by Raiden, who was instructed by him to go to Shang Tsung's island, the location of the first tournament, to help fight against the alliance of Quan Chi and Shang Tsung. This leads to his involvement in the fifth game, Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. He fought alongside the other heroes at the end of the game, but lost to Shang Tsung and Quan Chi's forces, with he among others who died in that fight. This would result in him not being playable in the sixth game, Mortal Kombat Deception. In that game, Johnny Cage's corpse was reanimated by the main villain of the game, Onaga, to be brainwashed as a fighter for evil. However, Johnny Cage is eventually freed by the combined work of Ermac and the soul of Liu Kang. This allows him to return for Mortal Kombat Armageddon, the last game in the Midway continuity. Johnny Cage takes it upon himself to rally the forces of justice because of Raiden's increasing corruption through the fight against Onaga and Liu Kang still existing only as a soul. When Cage traveled to the location, his suspicions eventually led him to witnessing Quan Chi and Shinnok discussing plans to take over Shao Kahn's base. Johnny Cage's rallying efforts found the forces of light that opposed the forces of darkness in the final battle of Armageddon, the entirety of which are wiped out at the end of the battle, including the pivotal hero rallier and leader Johnny Cage. That the forces of light are defeated at the end of Armageddon is not at all good for Earthrealm and for justice. Raiden is the last remaining member of the heroes, and he uses the last of his power before death to send information about the events that transpired thus far to a past self, so that the heroes can choose differently and win against the villains. This founds the NetherRealm continuity, which starts chronologically before the first game and begins with Mortal Kombat 2011. Johnny Cage's chapter is the first story mode chapter in the game. We see him strangely dressed in a blue tuxedo for the tournament's opening ceremony, but he already anticipates his success. And when Johnny Cage hears that Shang Tsung is the final boss of the tournament, Cage mocks his weak appearance and assumes his victory, thinking he may receive a belt for winning. Shang Tsung teleports next to him in response to his taunts, surprising Cage. The tournament's first matches are held, and Cage defeating Reptile before he trounces Baraka. As Baraka lays unconscious, Shang Tsung tells Johnny Cage to finish Baraka. Johnny Cage balks at the grossness of the suggestion before Shang Tsung directly asks Cage to kill Baraka. Cage is in disbelief, saying he will not kill anyone. This earns the attention of Liu Kang and Raiden, who are the first allies against Shao Kahn. But in any event, Shang Tsung assents to Cage's wishes. With the events of the day concluded, Cage leaves and runs into Raiden and Liu Kang. Raiden congratulates him, but Cage is more interested in finding Sonya. When the heroes tell Cage of the stakes of the tournament, that a victory by any of the Outworlders ensures Earthrealm's captivity, Cage thinks that the story is ridiculous and continues to look for Sonya. Liu Kang asks Raiden what the latter sees in Cage, and Raiden responds that though Cage doesn't see it in himself, Cage is meant to be a hero. Cage seeks out Sonya and interrupts a comms device chat with Special Forces, which pisses off Sonya and leads to a fight that Cage wins, but is nearly killed when Kano throws him off of the bridge that Sonya and Cage fought on. Cage catches onto a piece of the bridge, surviving, and throws himself back onto the bridge to knock out Kano before he can kill a weakened Sonya. While Cage's chapter concludes with him making amends with Sonya, he is one of the more involved characters on the heroes' side of the story. He aligns with Raiden's efforts to protect Earthrealm in the next chapter, featuring Sonya. In Cyrax's chapter, we learn that he has been assigned to kill Cage, and when Cyrax encounters and defeats Cage, Cyrax declines to do so. Cage is eliminated from the first tournament, but participates in another one that is arranged shortly after, traveling with Jax and Raiden to rescue Sonya. Throughout the story, while Liu Kang starts out as Raiden's closest companion, Cage ends up taking that role, despite not being as successful in the tournaments. He speaks his mind in evaluating the heroes' progress and does his best not to disrupt the alliances that hold the heroes together, despite whatever tensions arrive. Cage is defeated in the second tournament by Ermac, but is seen again when the Earthrealm heroes assist Stryker and Cabal in fighting against an Outworld invasion, and is present for the Assembly of Heroes. This assembly is also the scene of a mass slaughter of heroes by Sindel, which Cage and Sonya survive. Liu Kang at this point has lost faith in Raiden, but Sonya and Cage stand by him. Later, Liu Kang's anger and unwillingness to listen to Raiden's instructions not to attack Shao Kahn, though understandable at the time, leads to a confrontation that accidentally ends with Liu Kang's death. Though outmatched in strength, Cage and Sonya then try to hold off Shao Kahn, while Raiden mourns the loss of Liu Kang and his role in his friend's death, concluding his role in Mortal Kombat 2011. Johnny Cage's chapter opens the story mode of Mortal Kombat 10. He is older in this game and has a daughter named Cassie Cage with Sonya, his former wife. Once married, Sonya's commitment to her job strained their relationship to the point of divorce. They are on fairly good terms despite that. Cage's past life as an actor is replaced with a role assisting Sonya and the Special Forces in their operations protecting Earthrealm. He and Sonya start the story making their way to Raiden's Sky Temple. Cage, Sonya, and their ally Kenshi later appear at the base of the mountain that houses the Sky Temple and the Jinsai Chamber within it. Quan Chi is attempting to take control of the Jinsai Chamber, and the heroes must stop him. The group is ambushed by revenants, with Cage defeating former ally Smoke and then Jax. Cage, Sonya, and Kenshi make their way to the chamber just as Quan Chi and Shinnok are about to further trample on Raiden and his ally Fujin, but the heroes provide a much-needed assist. When Sonya is about to be captured by Shinnok, Cage absorbs an energy blast from him, glowing green with power. He defeats Shinnok and passes his amulet to Raiden so that Raiden can trap Shinnok in the amulet. The story flashes forward to him recounting his victory to a new team of heroes: Cassie Cage, Jackie Briggs, Kung Jin, and Takeda. He instructs them to visit Sub-Zero as part of a training mission. As a demonstration of his cool-headedness, Johnny prevents Sonya from killing Kano after he is hiding for his life amongst a group of refugees. Kano is responsible for stealing Shinnok's amulet after it was used to seal him away, and has information that the heroes need. He is also instrumental in convincing Jax to assist in capturing Quan Chi, culminating in a mission that is successful in large part due to Jax's own actions. But Scorpion and a legion of Shirai Ryu later ambush a Special Forces camp, with Scorpion desiring the death of Quan Chi. Raiden and the other heroes seek Quan Chi so that the other revenants can be restored to life, but Scorpion is unwilling to comply and fights the other heroes. The special forces are captured by the Shirai Ryu ninjas, and Scorpion kills Quan Chi, but not before D'Vorah delivers Shinnok's amulet to Quan Chi so that he can revive Shinnok just before being beheaded. Shinnok's revival is successful, and Johnny Cage remains captive under Shinnok while the other captives are left behind. We then see him at the end of the story mode, enduring D'Vorah's attempt to kill him and bound in the chamber until he is rescued by Cassie Cage. Shinnok awakens to his true form and nearly kills Johnny until Cassie summons the same green energy that protected Johnny in the past and allowed him to defeat Shinnok. Cassie then defeats Shinnok with that power, and afterwards Johnny, Sonya, and Cassie reunite in the chamber at the end of the story, affirming their bond as a family. In the NetherRealm continuity, Johnny Cage is a vantage point character for the audience. Through his eyes, we understand the importance of the roles of individual heroes in the greater struggle to protect Earthrealm. With Raiden becoming increasingly darker as a character, Johnny seems even more suited for maintaining that role. Mortal Kombat 11 entails past selves of characters encountering their present selves. While Johnny Cage's past self wasn't evil, it could serve as interesting to see how far the character has evolved since his introduction in Mortal Kombat 2011. And that concludes our video on the full story of Johnny Cage. From big-time actor to big-time hero, Johnny Cage has one of the more heartwarming stories in the Mortal Kombat series, and because of that, it's very easy to root for him. However, it's not just his role as a hero, but his charm, wit, and goodwill that earns him the trust of allies and the audience alike. Be sure to let us know what you think of Johnny Cage in the comments section below. And that about does it for this video. If you enjoyed what you watched and want to see more from GamingBolt, you can always hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon next to it. That way you will never miss any of our videos.